Happy New Year po sa inyong lahat. Happy New Year. Welcome to our first Lira in Law broadcast nga in January 2025. My gosh, 2025. Can you believe it? No? Still now I'm still writing 2024. I think I'll probably get used to it and to writing 2025 by November 2025. By which time I need to get used to 2026 nga. But welcome po, welcome. Thank you for joining me. It's and again, Happy New Year. I hope you had a good break. I hope you had a happy Christmas nga. And I hope you have a wonderful New Year. I mean, 2024 has been very interesting. Very challenging is probably better description in the field of in the legal field, and especially immigration. So I think it makes it more important that you that we are updated and that you are aware of rights and of course tips when you're making an application. So I'm so pleased, and I hope that I'm able to assist going forward. In January 2025, it's unbelievably fast time now. So salamat po for joining me again, as I say, at our usual broadcast on a Thursday evening between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. On Thursdays, so welcome back po to Lira in Law. I am your host. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kapatbat. I am a solicitor, practicing solicitor with Douglas Simon Solicitors. We are a firm in London, Richmond, in fact. We have been established, we've been established, I think we're 27 years, 28 years na kami, yung opisina nga. But I'm even older than the office. I won't tell you my age, but I have been in practice for over 32 years. Actually, I think it's next month, February ata, February. I'm pretty sure it's February. I need to look it up. But anyway, soon, as in this year, I will have been in practice, not including studies, not including training. I will have been in practice 33 years, practicing solicitors. So a long time, an awfully long time. But even after 3 decades of being in practice, I enjoy and really find it fascinating, law, especially the issue of immigration, because I would say siguro in the last 5 years, especially, certainly from the last 10, it has been increasingly challenging, and not necessarily in a good way. And 2024 certainly was no different. So pag-uusapan po natin ngayon is immigration changes, at least some of the immigration changes in 2024. So it's like I thought I would do a summary of the main things that have concerned my clients, and I know have concerned our viewers. And so I'm going to reel through them. So ang dami natin pag-uusapan ngayon. And of course, the usual thing, meron tayong mga questions, pag-uusapan din natin yung mga questions. And the questions, as usual you never cease to amaze me. The questions are very interesting. So, anong kailangan ng bata kung magbibiyahe siya galing sa Pilipinas, papasok dito? Anong kailangan yung ipakita kung magbibisit-bisit kayo dito? So, all sorts of things. And we're even dealing with employment situations flexi time. So if you sent in those questions, make sure you tune in. So it's and I would encourage anyone and everyone, please, kung meron kayong mga topic, meron kayong mga questions, send it to me. Send it to me in advance, and then I will try and of course deal with it during the show. And you never know. I mean, it could be that you're chosen as the star question in which case you'll get dealt with in more detail, and of course you're going to have your bragging rights, and that's no small thing, the bragging rights for in Lira in Law. Now, so yun ang topic po natin. It's going to hopefully prove to be an interesting and well, as I say, challenging topic. So I'm going to take you through quite a lot of summarize nga the changes, and hopefully you find it of use nga to you, or hindi nga kayo, kaibigan nyo, mga kamag-anak nyo. And feel free to share nga our content. So it's going to hopefully prove to be a very interesting night. So so without further ado, we'll take a quick break nga, and then we'll launch into our topic, which, as I say, is Immigration Changes 2024. No? Da-da-da-da. So I'll see you soon. Saglit nga lang po. Welcome back to Lira in Law. I am your host, Lira Simon Kabatbat. I am a solicitor at Douglas Simon Solicitors nga. We are a firm in London, in England, and I've been qualified now, as just saying, over 3 decades. Yep, you heard it right, over 3 decades. Actually, I think this year for sure. It could even be next month. 33 years, so a long time. And thank you very much for joining me. Kung meron kayong mga questions, I know we're on now, live of course, pero kung meron kayong mga questions o gusto niya nga akong batiin, please do, okay? Because I say this all the time, but my favorite part, I like all of this, I like, of course, imparting information out to you, and receiving nga yung questions nyo. But my favorite part always in Lira in Law is the batian section, which we're going to go into later on. So kung gusto nyo akong batiin, o kaya meron kayong mga questions, or you're just tuning in, huwag kayong maiyak. Do say hello. Now, ang topic po natin, as I've said, is immigration changes, at least some of the immigration changes in 2024. The reason I say some is ang dami pong nangyari in 2024. Well, actually 2023 also, especially the latter end of 2023. But certainly 2024 has been chock-a-block with changes in immigration. And 2025 is proving to be, or will prove to be, quite an interesting year also, not least because a lot of the changes that happened in 2024 we will now see the impact in 2025. No? Now, so let's run through the changes. Ang dami nating pag-uusapan. Okay, so una po ito. Partner application. So these are changes that happened in 2024. So partner application minimum income requirement. So the announcement actually was made just really at the cusp of the new year nga. So many clients were calling me in a bit of a panic actually before Christmas to say anong kailangan namin gawin, anong nangyari na, anong mangyayari nga, no? So if you remember, just to give you a background, ang minimum income requirement for partners, for spouses, fiancés, unmarried partners nga, was 18,600 pounds per annum before tax. Yun ang income na kailangan pakita nga ng sponsor. What happened? They changed it. So ngayon na po, so una nga, they introduced the change and they said, okay, we're going to increase it. Initially, this was the previous government nga, from 18,600 to 29,000 pounds, and then it's going to go up to 34,000 pounds, and it's going to go up further to 38,700 pounds. So you can imagine the panic that it caused an awful lot of people. I mean, it was hindi lang mga tao, no? Not just individuals who were concerned about their individual cases, but also the church, expressed concern nga, also of course charities and those also that organizations that they deal with children, no? So because they were concerned, ano mangyayari na, no? So is it then, are we looking at permanent separation potentially nga between the sponsor who's living in the United Kingdom and the family who may be living abroad, let's say sa Pilipinas nga, because it was a huge hike, no? From 18,600 potentially 38,700. Now, cooler heads prevailed, and it did go up to £29,000, and then there was a change, as you know, of government. And at the moment, what's the current situation? Hindi po 38,700. As at the 11th of April 2024, the minimum income requirement is £29,000. Before tax, no, it's £29,000 per annum. Right? Yun ang kailangan yung pakita. So sabihin natin, doon kayo sa Pilipinas, gusto kayong kunin ng asawa nyo nga dito siya. Anong kailangan yung pakitang income? Ang income at the moment is £29,000. Now, kung meron kayong mga bata, the £29,000, unlike the previous minimum income requirement of £18,600, it does not go up. So hindi nila dadagdagan. £29,000 flat. Yun. Okay? Yun ang kailangan yung pakita. Pero sabihin natin, as with a lot of my clients, hindi nga kasya yung income nila. It's not £29,000, no? Sabihin natin, ang income mo, ang income nyo is £20,000. So you fall short by £9,000. Can you use savings to pad it up to satisfy the minimum income requirement? The answer is yes, you can. No? Now, I've done the calculation and I'll give you also the formula. So ito po. The formula in calculating the savings that you need, okay? Kung kapos nga kayo, kung 20,000 ang income mo, pero kailangan pakita 29,000 pounds is this. So, the difference between the 20,000 na income mo and of course the minimum income requirement of 29,000 is clearly 9,000 pounds. Okay? Yung 9,000 pounds na yun, the formula is, so the difference between the minimum income requirement and yung income nga. So, kung 20,000 ka, 9,000 pounds. So, 9,000 pounds, you multiply that by 2.5, okay? And then you add an additional 16,000 pounds. So, for example nga, on that basis, 29,000 ang kailangan, 20,000 income mo, ano bang kapos? Ang kailangan, ano bang savings na kailangan ipakita? The amount with that calculation is 38,500 pounds. So, not a small amount. Okay? But that's what you need to show. Kung 20,000 nga ang income, you need savings, and they must be easily liquid, so cash savings basically, ideally really. So nasa bangko o ISA, ganoon, they will not take into account equity in a house, for example. It doesn't matter na you have £1 million equity in your home, that's not taken into account because it's not easily liquidated. So you own. So 38,500 pounds kung yun nga kung 20,000 ang income. So that's one thing. So that was certainly that's probably the one that caused an awful lot of panic. The minimum income requirement changed. Now, ano pang nangyari? Also changed was the skilled worker visa threshold requirement. No, tinaasan nila. What else is new? Okay. So 2004 also saw an increase to salary thresholds for some skilled worker visa. Well, actually, most. No, the minimum income requirement the minimum income dati was 26,200 pounds. Tinaasan nila to 38,700 pounds. So it's a massive hike again. Fortunately, as with as before, some lower income threshold applies to some workers that do certain jobs, no? Jobs, the skill sets that the government says kailangan nila dito. And they include, for example, care workers. Okay? So care workers, for example, ang income nila, ang minimum income na kailangan nilang pakita in order to be able to successfully apply for a visa to enter the United Kingdom after getting a certificate of sponsorship is 23,200. Okay? So mas mababa nga. So at least it's not 38,700 pounds. So that's another change in 2024. Now, even though carers, sabihin natin nga, were quite fortunate in that they were exempt to the general from the general increase of income to 38,700, sa kanila 23,200. The downside, again in 2024, is they stopped carers from being able to bring their family into the United Kingdom. I'm talking about new applicants. Okay, so those people who are entering, who have been granted leave nga after the 11th of March 2024. Okay, so if you're coming in now, kung magpapasok nga lang kayo application, nakakuha nga kayong visa ngayon nga lang, no, after the 11th of March 2024, you no longer can apply for your family, that is children under the age of 18, and also yung asawa nyo, sabihin natin, o partner nyo nga, to join you in the United Kingdom, unfortunately. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that that's it forevermore. Now, I mean, of course, as a carer, you can still, after 5 years nga, apply for indefinite leave to remain. And by then, when you have settlement status nga in the United Kingdom, then you can see about bringing them in the UK. But that's a small consolation, really, because of course 5 years is a long time, and I know it's causing an awful lot of people, some of my clients, concerns. I don't. I have. I have concerns on so many levels. On a personal level, it must be very difficult. I can't imagine, the difficulty that you have having to choose to be away now from your family, but also from a social and, if you like, legal level. I do think I would be concerned whether that puts off people, carers nga, and he'll have that special skill set from coming into the UK. We'll see. But at the moment nga, you cannot show that you are, if you can't bring in your family in the United Kingdom if you have this type of visa, and you have a visa nga, you were granted a visa after the 11th of March 2024. Sticking with the issue of carers, employers, care homes, for example, nga, now need to be registered with what's called the CQC, the Care Quality Commission, in order to be able to get sponsorship license in the UK, okay? And to be able to sponsor people also. So kung naghahanap nga kayo ng trabaho in the adult, in the health and adult social care, make sure na nga yung employer nyo or prospective employer is registered with the Care Quality Commission, because otherwise they cannot sponsor you in to come into the United Kingdom. Now, kung nandito na kayo, don't panic kahit wala nga silang wala nga sila sa CQC, if they're not registered, because you can still continue to work, they can still continue quite properly to employ you even though they're not registered kung nandito na nga kayo. So if you entered the UK obviously before the change nga, so kung ngayon nga lang kayo papasok, then it would be an issue. So be careful, they must be registered. Now, additionally, as usual nga, pera, home office fees. Home office fees have gone up. Do they ever go down though, right? Anyway, so I think they're on a very, very few occasions they've gone down, but not by very much, but certainly they have not gone down for an awful lot of fees. So tingnan nga natin. So hike in fees. I mean, I'm talking about real hike nga in fees. So I'll post after our broadcast nga the link to the Home Office visa fees. Okay, that's a comprehensive list. Nandun lahat kung magkano kailangan ibayad. So, but it's quite long. So that's why I'm not going through each and every single one. Now, what are popular fee changes are as follows. So, for example, spouse visa. Okay, it went up in 2024 by 20%. From £1,538 to a whopping £1,846. Massive amount, But it gets worse. Indefinite leave to remain also went up by 20% to from £2,404 to to 2,885 pounds. So kung mag-indefinite na kayo, settlement status na nga kayo, kailangan yung bayad 2,885 pounds. No IHS because it's indefinite. I'll talk about IHS in a moment. No? So naturalization. So kung magiging British na kayo, this is very popular at the moment, especially because people are making applications for naturalization rather than getting e-visas, or they're getting e-visas but applying also for naturalization. And I cannot emphasize enough, kung entitled na kayo magpasok ng naturalization, do so. Okay, because my prediction for 2025 is there will be changes to the naturalization legal requirements, and it will be harder. You've probably been reading also in the paper nga some EU countries, Sweden has made some pretty drastic changes nga to their naturalization process. I think we will follow. No? So if you're if you can apply for naturalization, if you're entitled now to apply for naturalization because you've been in the United Kingdom a minimum of 5 years, the last 12 months must be indefinite leave to remain, generally, no? Then please make the application. But anyway, if you're doing it now, it's gone up again by 20% from 1,250, the home office fee, to 1,500 pounds. Now, on top of that, and this is the massive increase, immigration health surcharge, otherwise known fondly as IHS. Okay. Now, although strictly speaking, hindi nga yung home office fee, but of course, it is something you need to pay when you make. You have to pay it when you make an application, unless you are exempt. No? But most people are not exempt. So it went up by, wait for this, 66%. No? From £624 per year to £1,035 per applicant per year of leave. So let's I mean, that doesn't apply to everyone, but so for example, children pay less. But let's say you're making an application for a spouse visa, so you're asking for 2.5 years visa. How do you calculate it? That now costs. So before, on 2.5 years, calculated at 624 dati, okay, that was 1,560 on top of the home office fee na kailangan ibayad. No? Ngayon, it's now not 1,560 anymore, but rather £2,587.50p. Huge increase. Okay, so it's certainly not showing. Home office fees are not showing generally a decrease, but increase, not just increase a bit, but considerable increase. I say again, after our broadcast I will post the link to the home office fees, the current home office fees You just need to click on the link makikita nyo, and hopefully nandun yung kailangan ibayad. It lists things. It lists making applications from abroad or making application in the United Kingdom, spouse applications, visit visa. So it should be all there. Okay. Now, I've saved it, I suppose, best for last. No, it's an administrative change, and this is not going to be a surprise to, I'm sure, any of you. 2024 also saw the deadline of the 31st of December 2024 for biometric residence permits. Okay? BRP. If you hear the phrase BRC, which biometric residence cards, they relate really there. That's how you call, that's what you call EU nationals and also EU national families, family members yun ang card nila, ang tawag sa card nila BRCs, biometric residence cards. But for most people, nandito kayo, those with indefinite leave to remain, those with limited leave to remain, until the 31st of December 2024, you could use this card, the BRP card, and I'm sure you've seen them, pero parang bang credit card ang itsura na ng picture nyo, nandun yung detalye nyo, pangalan nyo, birthday nyo no? And most importantly, nandun yung visa nyo. Okay? It may say limited leave to remain. Now, in the last at least 12 months it mainly showed deadline, expiry date ng card ng BRP is 31st of December 2024. Una po, hindi naman ibig sabihin nung natapos ang visa nyo, especially kung indefinite na nga kayo. So sabihin natin, indefinite na nga kayo dito sa UK. Of course, hindi matatapos yung visa nyo, pero yung card ang mapapaso. A bit like passports, no? Just because you have Filipino passport and okay, 10 years na nga. In 10 years time, papaso na yung passport, but hindi naman ibig sabihin hindi na kayo Pinoy, no? So, much the same. Yeah? So, so the card does not mean, the expiry of the card does not mean the expiry of your visa. But, what do you do? But it is the thing that you use to show your status in the UK. Kung ano man status nyo. Estudyante kayo, spouse visa kayo, limited leave to remain, or exceptional circumstances, or indefinite, kahit nga indefinite kayo. So if you're not British, usually you would have a card. Yun ang kailangan yung pakita. Yun ang gusto makita nga ng airport, ng airline, gusto makita ng trabaho, for example, if you're looking, or indeed even landlord, and then they check also online. So, importante nga yung BRP. And then they said, okay, we're going to get rid of BRPs. And in fairness, people have had a lot of notice. This was introduced, I think some two years back now, no? So there's been ample notice that it will happen. And it did happen, right? So, and there's been a lot of, you can see it on YouTube. There've been, the Home Office have also noted how do you do it, how do you apply, how do you now, when you no longer can use your BRP, anong kailangan ipakita. Now, it was replaced in 2024, 31st of December 2024, actually, by e-visas. But you could apply for an e-visa. E-visa is just short for electronic visa. So computerized, computer-generated visa. So it was replaced by e-visas nga, and the deadline on the card was 31st of December 2024. Now, why it was the 31st of December 2024? I've always wondered, because why would you choose the 31st of December? No? On any level. That's the busiest time for travel. Also, it's holiday. So kung may problema, if you have may abogado nga kayo, how do you call them? Even I was off on the 31st of December. So it was bizarre that it actually they made it to expire on the 31st of December. Anyway, there was a change in government, as I say, as you all know. And there was an announcement, in fact, before the 31st of December. And sabi nila, okay, we're going to extend the usage of the card. Doesn't mean nabibigyan kayong panbago, but you can still use your card even after the 31st of December 2024. And the extension was to the 31st of March 2024. So you still can use it for another 2 months. Now, sabi nila, okay, kahit paso na nga yun, nasa labas kayo, papasok kayo, babalik kayo nga dito, the airline, for example, or yung barko, or the trains can still use it. But is it a good idea to leave it until then? Hindi po. Ang payo ko sa inyo, even though it's been extended, the usage of the BRP to the 31st of March, gawin nyo na. Okay? Not least because it just seems hassle. No? Kung meron nga kayong e-visa, that's really what they want to see. And hindi nga lang kung lalabas kayo. Yung kailangan yung ibigay nga, you need to give a share code, prospective landlords, prospective employers, for example nga, and generally for you, to be able to show meron kayong status. Sabihin natin, pupunta kayo, gusto nyo want to open an account, nasa bangko nga kayo. They want to see, give them a share code nga. So, kahit nga in-extend nga nila, and frankly, it's only the 31st of March. Ano na tayo? We're mid-January na nga. Don't delay. Nevertheless, get your e-visa sorted out. Bear in mind, okay, tip ko po ito, 31st of December 2024, as I say, BRP ends, and then you get you replace it now with an e-visa, okay? But to get the e-visa, kung wala kayong BRP dati, marami akong kalayante, ang visa nga nila nakatatak lang sa passport, lumang-luma na yung passport, pag nagbibiyahe sila, magkakadikit yung passports nila, And so until recently, that was okay. When you apply nga for an e-visa, kung yun, so wala kayong BRP nga, no? You never applied for BRP, then you need another process. It's called NTL, no time limit. You do need to do that before you can then get your e-visa. Kailangan po yun. So kung meron kayong balak magbiyahe, no, especially, there's the additional process. An additional process for the Home Office always results to some delay, of course, because there needs to be, there's another process to go through. So, importante po, gawin nyo na nga yun, especially if you're looking to travel, no, for Valentine's. Oh, gosh. Tapos nga lang ng Christmas, tapos New Year, no? And the next thing is Valentine's. Sabihin natin, meron kayong gusto nyo pumunta sa, Paris, no? To have a nice long weekend. Kung yun ang balak nyo, do it now. Okay? Especially kung kailangan yung NTL. Yeah? It's so important that you do that. NTL causes delay because it's another process nga. Then you can make an application for an e-visa. But if you can if you have not yet applied for an e-visa, for goodness sake, what are you waiting for? Gawin nyo. Okay? Yun ang payo ko. And also bear in mind whether it would be actually practical to even apply for naturalization, which is of course the British passport, if you think that is something that you want nga going forward. And a lot of my clients have, and sabi ko nga sa mga kliyente ko, look, it gives you an option. Hindi naman ibig sabihin hindi na kayo Pinoy. And you can, of course, now we have the possibility of becoming dual nga, no? So you don't even lose your citizenship, no, your Filipino citizenship. So so that means that you will have the same rights as you have now, even though you become British nga. So you should consider it. Now, bear in mind also, 65 is the deadline for deadline is exemption really for the life in the UK English language. So ibig sabihin po, kung over 65 plus na kayo, hindi nyo kailangan test. That's what puts a lot of people off. And so if that is what's putting you off, do not be put off. Because if you're 65 plus now, then you can make an application actually for naturalization and then get your British passport without having to do the test. No, so it's not. It's kind of as I say, it's kind of a win-win really. No, dahil Brito nga kayo, pwede kang tumira nga dito. Kung gusto niyo umuwi sa atin, gusto niyo bumili ng mga lupa sa atin, you're still Filipino. No? So at the moment, I can't think of a downside to becoming dual. But yun nga. So if Lira in Law. We had an impromptu break there, no? So my apologies. It was my fault altogether. My internet connection obviously cannot handle the immigration changes to 2024 and decided to conk out, no? Hindi ko napansin. So hopefully, what I was not cut off too, too early on. Anyway, so welcome back po to Lira in Law. Akong host nyo, Lira Simon Kapatat, signing on again. Ito yung problema. Kung live ka, no? These things happen, unfortunately. So hopefully it did not disturb you too much, and it's not distracting too much from your enjoyment of our show. No. Anyway, we've come back just to my favorite part, which is the batian. I really hope that people who were watching didn't then decide, oh, actually, I'm gonna give up now because wala na siya, no. So hopefully you've stuck around, and if you have, please say hello. Kamusta, no? Batiin niyo ako, no? So let me just see. So sinong bumabati sa atin? Outcast! Hello, Outcast! Happy New Year, no? Nice to see you, sabi niya. A recap of 2024 changes. Good. Salamat, no, Outcast? Tingnan mo. Talaga, thank you very much for watching. Shows you're definitely watching. And I'm sorry, as I say, to the sudden my sudden absence nga. Oh, Egg Guy, the great guy from London. Sabi po niya, happy Thursday and belated happy birthday. Egg Guy, you're disclosing my secret, but it's okay. I forgive you. Belated happy birthday, sabi ko niya, no, to Attorney Lira, and hello to the viewers. Work from home today with Justin now in the room, taking care of him. Such a devoted dad. Looking forward to lots of learning again, and to Attorney Lira's lovely voice, Egg Guy. Egg Guy, happy New Year to you and your family, especially kay Justin. No? And thank you for the card. He very kindly sent me a card. It's beautiful. It's actually on my windowsill, ha? Nandun pa rin. So, salamat po. Oh, Miss Paner! Marian Galicia Paner. No, hello po, Attorney Lira. At sa lahat, happy Thursday po and stay safe always. Happy Thursday to you too, Miss Paner. And Happy New Year. Ano? I hope that you're safe and you've had your flu shot. No? It's if you can get your flu shot, you should get your flu shot, no? Dahil nga it's importante nga that you are kept safe, no? It's especially nga ngayon, ang dami din mga sakit. I mean, January is always filled with people who are a bit unwell because of change of weather. Tsaka lamig, ano? Miss Acerada. Arlene, kamusta po? Kamusta? Good evening and happy Thursday, Attorney Lira. Kamusta, madam? Are you well? I hope you're well. I hope you're inside, no? And not cold outside. Miss Giling! We love Miss Giling. MM Giling and her family, of course. Hi, good evening, sabi po niya, ma'am, and happy Thursday. Happy New Year to all. Happy New Year to you, Miss Giling, and to the family, no? I hope you had a good break, and that 2025, just take it easy. Si Miss Giling, napakasipag niya. Oh! Menar Soriano Villano, salamat po. Belated happy birthday, sabi niya. Oh, salamat. It's I tell you what, I'm so old now, no, that I can't forget it because people, I can't really forget your birthday, no. May mga tao sabi, no, I forgot my birthday. Oh, they're the same people who say I forgot to eat. How can you forget to eat? I don't get that, no. Anyway, I haven't forgotten. I tried to kind of do it on the low, yung birthday ko. Because I'm so old now. So, kain pa more, sabi niya. Hi, good evening, Attorney Lira, and to all viewers. What is the difference between ILE and ILR? Okay. ILR is indefinite leave to remain. ILE is actually it's exceptional. So it's exceptional leave to remain. ELR really. So exceptional leave to remain. Ibig sabihin, you got a visa based on exceptional circumstances. Article 8, right to family. Also compassionate circumstances. Yun. But ILR is indefinite leave to remain, which is the settlement status. Stage before naturalization, therefore stage before getting a British passport. No, so yun. So hopefully that was helpful to you. Hi, Attorney, sabi niya, can I apply for my daughter for naturalization? She's been 2 years now. She's my dependent. 18 years na po siya. She was 16 when she arrived here. I mean, okay, you do need to I think, look at it in. I need more facts essentially, but generally, when a child turns 18, adult na siya. Ibig sabihin, she must make an application under her own right, or obtain naturalization in her own right. Ibig sabihin, she would need to show usually 5 years leave to remain in the United Kingdom. The last 12 months must be indefinite leave to remain. So I would suspect not yet is the answer, even though nung dumating nga siya dito, 16 pa siya, and therefore a minor. But yeah, no. So she's reached 18. So the new the adult rules, if you like, apply to her for naturalization. So it's the form AN, no longer the MN1. MN1 is for children. AN po, no? AN ang kailangan nyo tignan, and usually 5 years ang kailangan niya. 5 years, last 12 months must be indefinite, and she probably has indefinite now naman, because if she joined you as a minor. So 5 years, and she must not be absent for too long. So kung lagi siya nagbebiyahe, make sure no, she's not absent for too long. If you want actually to have the complete requirements, conditions nga, email me and I'll send you the link. Okay? But unfortunately, siguro hindi. Now, sino pa po? Meron pa bang bumabati sa atin? Tingnan nga natin. Janae Ibtaj, no? May question po ako about unmarried visa partner. My partner got married. So it's just, I love this, no? It's go, no? Mga question natin. So, may question po ako about unmarried visa partner. My partner got married po with another person. Okay. Pero hindi po kami naghiwalay. Okay. Hindi pa kayo. So for visa renewal po sa ngayon, under pa ba niya ako, maapektuhan po bang renewal nung marriage po niya? Then gusto po niyang mag-file ng divorce. Okay. Sa pinakasalan niya, kaso po 1 year pa po bago magpa-divorce dito sa UK. Okay, so tingnan natin ulit. So may partner ka, pero kasal siya sa ibang tao. Okay? Hindi pa po kami naghihiwalay. Po visa renewal po ngayon, you're under him, under this visa still. Maapektuhan po bang renewal nung marriage po niya? Tapos, on top of that, to make it more complex, oh gosh, you have a complicated love life, no? Gusto po niya mag-file ng divorce sa pinakasalan niya. Kaso po, 1 year na po bago mag-divorce dito sa UK. So, okay. So, ang unang question, maapektuhan ba? So, nandito ka as an unmarried partner. Yun ang visa mo, no? So, the same conditions really for unmarried partner and actually fiancé if you're coming from abroad, as spouse. So kailangan ipakita nga the income requirement, which is at the moment now, before siguro, so you're probably under the old rule, which is 18,600, but before, but ngayon na, it's 29,000 pounds. So, ang problema nga, pumasok ka dito, nandito ka as unmarried partner. May visa ka pa as an unmarried partner. In the meantime, I'm assuming na nagka-problema nga kayo. So, ang ginawa naman niya, nagpakasal siya sa ibang tao, no? And so, kasal siya dito sa ibang tao. In the meantime, that relationship, that marriage has not worked out. So, siguro naghiwalay nga sila. Kayo, nagsasama pa rin nga kayo. So, maapektuhan ba yung visa mo? Wow, you do lead an interesting love life. The answer is yes, in that ang status mo dito based on your relationship. Kung kasal siya sa ibang tao, then the Home Office will understandably presume na yung relationship nyo ay wala na. Kung hindi naman yung tama, so sabihin natin he married this person for whatever reason, made a mistake nga, ngayon nakabali ka nga kayo, then you need to inform the Home Office when you make an application nga next time ito nga ang nangyari. In fact, they will probably say that the marriage is a substantial change to circumstances nga that you need to inform them before you even make an application. Pero kung matatapos naman ang visa mo and you're looking to apply to extend nga, kung nagkabali ka nga kayo, you do need to explain that, okay? Because it's obviously a substantial change to circumstances that would be relevant to your application. Yun ang sasabihin nga ng Home Office. And you have an ongoing duty to keep the Home Office nga informed of those substantial changes. So unfortunately, the answer is yes. It will affect it. But hopefully, by explaining nga na ito nga nangyari, you were together, then you were briefly separated. In the meantime, he married someone. That relationship has broken down. He wants to actually petition for divorce. He can't because he's not been married for longer than 1 year. Tama nga. And the Home Office will know that, no? But he has every intention to do so. In the meantime, nagkabali ka kayo. You need to explain that. And hopefully, the Home Office will accept nga the explanation and simply extend your visa on the same basis. But you have an interesting love life. Okay. Now, tingnan natin sino pang bumabati. Let me have a look. These are off the cuff, ha? Off the cuff questions nga, answers to questions. So, galing po to Menar Soriano Villano. Good evening, Attorney Lira. Sabi niya, I have a question. I'm planning to apply for British citizenship. How long does it take to approve? Oh, how long? And how much is the cost? Thank you so much, Attorney. I really love to watch your live programs. Just sometimes I'm at work. The reason I miss most of your topics, you can always play me back. Okay, I don't mind at all going. I know. Just go back. No, if you miss today or part of today, play me again. No, so just go back to Facebook or indeed YouTube. Ha, nandun ako. So makita mo nga lahat. So in answer to your question, British citizenship, how long does it take? At the moment. Christmas is over now. At the moment, I'm saying to clients, you should allow 6 months. Some applications are taking less time than that. Some applications are taking a little bit more than that. The longest time is often where Christmas is included. A lot of people are off, for example, and things just kind of slow down over the Christmas period. February actually is the best time to make applications because even though there's the Easter break, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. At least it didn't last year to the timing of applications or conclusion of applications for naturalization. So allow 6 months. But kung magbiyahe ka, so natatakot ka na magpasok nga ngayon na kailangan mo magbiyahe, don't worry because until you do your oath taking, you are still your indefinite leave to remain is still very much valid. So kung magbiyahe ka, ang payo ko, just delay. Obviously, you have to make sure that you don't delay it too long because there's also a deadline to do your oath taking. But you can delay your oath taking a little bit in order for you to go on holiday and come back and still, of course, use your rely on your indefinite leave to remain, which is, I hope, you can show by your e-visa. May e-visa ka, ha? If you don't have one, you must get one. Now, tingnan natin. Miss Paner, Happy New Year. Sabi niya, Happy New Year din po. Belated happy birthday as well. Oh, salamat, Miss Paner. We actually, for a lot of people, Miss Paner, for example, is definitely one we've been together so long now. I was talking to someone about COVID, no? Never far from our mind, COVID last week. Sabi ko, I've been doing a broadcast which started really to because of the COVID situation to try and keep people informed of the rights, especially travel rights and I'm still doing it, no? Like for 4 years na tayo ba? No? Magpo 4 years na tayo, Miss Paner, no? We have an anniversary soon. Okay, so ewan ko meron pang mga nangangamusta sa atin. Let me just have a look. Okay, so we're going to launch into our questions now. So, interesting questions. Salamat po. Now, so ito po. Nandito po kaming dalawa ni Mrs. Okay? Sa UK. Both carers. Parehong 44 hours per week kami. 44 hours. It's a long time to work per week, ha? Okay? Same workplace. Parehong sponsor namin. Okay? Ang tanong ko po ito, kung kukunin namin ang kids namin, okay, so may mga bata sila, 2 years old at 9 years old, okay, papayag po ba sila na i-adjust ang time namin mag-asawa para may magbabantay sa mga bata? Actually, yeah, of course, kailangan pag-isipan yun, no? 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. si Mrs. 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. naman ako. Oh, in that case, no, you need some change, no? Do I have the right po na magpa-change schedule in case madala ko po yung mga anak ko? Yes, is the quick answer to that. Probably, okay? It's called applying for flexible working time, really. So so employees like you, it doesn't matter na you have limited leave to remain, that you're sponsored by your employer nga. You can apply for what's called flexible working time. Actually, you can apply now. You could have applied on the first day, no? In your job. Ang tawag po making a statutory application. Basic steps po ito. Employee writes to the to the employer. So you need to put it in writing. Employer discusses the employee's request with them, make a decision within 2 months, okay, or longer if agreed with the employee. Sabihin nila, okay, siguro, pero kailangan namin tignan about recruitment, and it takes longer than, say, 2 months. As long as you agree, then, yeah. But they should reply to you within 2 months naman. If the employer agrees to the request, they must then change the terms and conditions of the employee's contract. Now, the carer ka, that's a little bit trickier, but you can still put in that you some reference to you not clashing, or rather not being at the same time as species. If the employer disagrees, and unfortunately you can get this in care situations, no, because they're always short of staff, and of course care workers work, well, I mean, at various times, no, 24/7 nga kayo, no. So if the employer disagrees, they must tell the employee, giving business reasons for the refusal. Employee may be able to complain to employment tribunal. Now, of course, you may not necessarily want to do. So, ang payo ko, kausapin mo sila. You're entitled to raise the issue of flexible working time. But my experience with employers, care homes included, is they're generally nga reasonable, especially kung malaki nga naman yung care home nyo, that they put you on a different shift always as the misis, no? And that's, I mean, you get your shift anyway, a week a week in advance at least. Most of the time, most people actually work it out a month in advance, but at least nga a week in advance. So it should not be, hopefully, an issue. Now, kung maliit nga lang care home, that may be a potential issue because there are not so many people covering. But the quick answer to the question is yes, you can. But they can refuse, but they have to be reasonable if they're going to refuse. Otherwise, you can take them to the tribunal. So you can make what's called a statutory application, flexi working time. Most of my clients, payo ko nga din, is just to raise it initially, no? Kausapin mo sila, sabi mo, okay, gusto niyang kunin yung mga anak niyo, maliliit pa nga sila, and they are, no? Especially yung bunso niyo, 2 years old nga lang. Is there any way that this can be taken into account? No, and hopefully they will say yes. Keep me informed. No, now alam ko meron pa tayong mga questions. Let me just have a look. We're running over because I had issues with my connection. So okay, so sabi po niya to. Hello po, I'm planning to apply for visit visa, fully sponsored by my boyfriend. May full time po ako, pero wala akong savings. Okay? So nasa Pilipinas ka siguro, no? All financial statements will come from my boyfriend, but I can provide payslip and bank statements for my payroll account. Okay lang po ba na financial statement ng boyfriend ang ipapasa ko since siya naman magagastos ng lahat-lahat from ticket to accommodation, food, and transportation? Yes, but beware, okay? Tip ko ito. So, unang-una, kailangan pakita na kayang-kaya mo na pagka nandito ka, na sagutin nga accommodation, pagkain, lakwatsa, no? You need to be able to show that you're able to support yourself in the UK without recourse to public funds. Not that you would be entitled to that anyway when you're in the United Kingdom. So the longer you're in the UK or propose to be in the UK, the higher the cost will be. Okay, of or the higher the requirement is of for finances. So kung nandito ka for 2 weeks, then that would, you will need to show less money than say if you're going to be here for 2 months. Okay, but yes, you can absolutely rely on your boyfriend's bank statements nga, for example. It's a good idea, pasa mo pa rin yung financial documents mo, that your bank statements nga, at saka yung pay slips mo. So at least makikita na meron kang babalikan. That's more the case, no? Tip ko po ito, prepare a statement. Ibig sabihin, parang affidavit ang itsura. Sabihin nyo doon, and don't go melodramatic. They don't really like that. And its usefulness is very limited. Be factual also. So sabihin nyo doon, you want to apply for visit visa, you plan to be in the United Kingdom from this date to this date. So 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever it is, no? You have been invited by your boyfriend, and he or she works nga as kung ano trabaho niya, earning this much money. Saan ka titira? So remember, financial requirement is twofold, no? Hindi lang pera po, but also accommodation. So yun. So yes, it's the answer, but make sure you have a statement. Boyfriend mo din, kailangan niya may statement din siya. Sasabihin nga niya doon, yeah, I agree that akong bahala lahat. Make sure you provide bank statements nga. Kung ako kayo, I would say at least 6 months. If you can provide longer, more, fine. Kung meron siyang savings, great. Accommodation din po. Okay? So yes. So hopefully you can come and keep me informed. Now, meron pa tayong question, I'm sure. Sandali nga. Okay, so ito po. I'm planning po, sana kunin ng anak ko this year. Great. Okay? Anak ko po siya sa pagkadalaga, and she's 10 years old. Kasal na po ako dito sa UK, and currently pregnant po ako. Masusundo ang anak ko by the time na aalis na siya ng Pinas. Okay. Balak ko po, yung mother ko po ang maghahatid, since siya nga ang POA ko, okay, sa Pilipinas. So, ihahatid siya, so sasamahan siya ng nanay mo. Ano pong hinahanap ng immigration sa Pilipinas? Oh, interesting. So, sa Pilipinas, hindi nga dito pagka gano'n ang sitwasyon, need po bang biological father, letter from the biological father, kahit wala nga siyang pakialam nga sa bata, no? So, gusto niyang kunin yung anak niya dito sa UK, 10 taon yung bata, kailangan may maghahatid nga sa kanya, because she's under the age of 13 nga. So yung nanay niya ang maghahatid. Pero ang question niya, hindi immigration nga dito, but rather, anong kailangan ng bata na nasa Pilipinas? Yes, kailangan niya. So I will, if you email me, I'll send you the link. It's the link to the DSWD, okay? Ang kailangan, let me just read to you that bit. So, notarized affidavit of consent signed by both parties, ikaw at si mister, or the person exercising parental authority or legal custody over the minor. So, siguro, inaalaga nga ng nanay mo yung bata, but she probably doesn't have legal custody, because you have that, no? So it says here, whichever is applicable, permitting the minor to travel to a foreign country, indicating the specific the destination, purpose of travel, inclusive of the travel, and accompanying person and its relation to the minor. That I know. I normally prepare by way of it's like a statement, parang affidavit nga, no? So nandoon nga sasabihin mo doon, no, that she was guaranteed leave to enter the United Kingdom, could even be indefinite, to join you in the United Kingdom. You now want for your mom to accompany her. Your mom has a visit visa. No? Kailangan mo niyang visa, yung nanay mo, to come into the United Kingdom. The travel is this. So yung tatay niya, no? Yung asawa mo, yung ex mo nga, can simply execute a separate statement to say he's read your statement, confirm it to be true, and he agrees that your daughter join you in the United Kingdom, and that she's able to travel accompanied by his mother-in-law, pangalan nga. So yes is the answer. Pero there's a bit more to it than that. So kung gusto mo, I can send you the link. It's DSWD. Okay. Yeah. Marami pa mga kailangan. Now, I don't know if I have any more questions. So, sandali, tingnan ko o bumabati sa atin. It could be not. Sandali nga lang. Let me have a check. Okay. Oh, Miss Paner. Oh, magpo 4 years na po tayo, attorney. Mag 4 years na tayo? Wow. I have clients who have not been married that long, Miss Paner. So we've been together longer than some marriages, huh? Oh, Egay the great guy. He's so modest. Sabi nga, Egay the guy from London. Hindi po, Egay the great guy, no? Nice to hear you receive birthday card, no? Nice to hear the questions. And sana, may all forever, may financial statements. Yeah, there's lovely card. As I say, it's on my windowsill, nasa piscina ko. So you haven't seen my office, but on my right hand side, it's may bintana ako. It's a row of windows, and on there are things that I like. So sometimes mga tao nga, when they very kindly send me some flowers, nandoon. So it's on my windowsill. So the things that I like to look at, and your card is there along with others. So yun. Now, ewan ko meron pang nangangamusta sa atin. Could be that tapos na tayo. Let me just have a quick look. It could be, let me check, because I was put off a little bit by the fact nga na, okay, so yun na po. Now, salamat po for joining me on our first Lira in Law broadcast in January 2025. So good of you. Salamat po. I always enjoy your company. I hope you enjoy mine. No, and my apologies again for the hiccup without my internet. No, now a good start to 2025. But I think maybe my internet was also challenged by our topic, which is a big one. 2024 immigration changes in 2024. I'm going to write an article nga dealing with this. Ang gagawin ko, once I've done it, I'll post it also nga on our Facebook. So if you want to have a look, read it, pasa nyo, feel free. Okay. So I'm going to do that because I think a lot of people want to would be helped by a summary of at least some of the changes. Nga, I would have to write the book to note all the changes in 2024. Ang dami, but hopefully this helps a little bit nga, no? But anyway, so salamat po for joining me. I'm sorry that I've run on because of the difficulty nga with my internet. It's what happens when you're live. But I'm so grateful nga for your company and yeah, no, thank you for tuning in. Happy New Year again to all of you. Hopefully 2025 will be a great year for all of us. And of course, not every Thursday get together. I hope you can join me. So until next time, same place at Lira and Law. Good night.